Coming up tonight, new accomplishments for South Carolina softball.
Later, it's playoff season for the NBA and the NHL.
And finally, updates on Gamecock golf.
These stories and more on Palmetto State Sports.
From the Blue Ridge Mountains and through the Midlands down to the coast, there's plenty of sports highlights and moments here in South Carolina. There's only one place where you'll catch all the action. This is Palmetto State Sports.
Welcome to Palmetto State Sports. I'm Amanda Baranowski.
And I'm Erica Hudock. Thank you for joining us tonight. The athletic program held their annual Gamecock Gala this past Monday night at Colonial Life Arena to honor the student athletes at the university. South Carolina athletes dressed for the occasion to celebrate their success on and off their respective athletic stages.
Women's basketball star Leah Boston took home the Female Athlete of the Year award as well as the President's Award. Boston has been drafted into the WNBA and could not be present, but after a series of awards within her athletic career at the university, this came to no one's surprise.
Male Athlete of the Year award went to Toby Samuel of the men's tennis team. Samuel became the third in the nation as a single, and with his partner Connor Thompson, held the #1 spot.
Freshman of the Year awards went to women's basketball's Raven Johnson for the females and Nick Emma Worry of football and Ethan Petrie of baseball for the men.
And Gamecock baseball bounced back last night when the team picked up another midweek win against Charleston Southern in a 10-4 victory. This came after their first series loss to Vanderbilt this weekend, where there were still positive elements displayed on the Gamecock roster.
Freshman Ethan Petrie recorded his 18th home run of the season on Saturday against the Commodores, making him the program record holder for the most home runs by a freshman, with a significant amount of games still to go. And shortstop Braylon Wimmer was put on the watch list for the Brooks Wallace Award, given to the #1 shortstop in the country.
The Gamecocks have 5 SEC opponents left on the schedule before the SEC tournament, including #3 ranked Florida this weekend at home in a 3-game series.
With over 51,000 spectators in Williams-Brice Stadium at Saturday's Garnet and Black matchup, the Gamecock football team showed progress and promising futures for the upcoming fall season. In a close fight between the two teams, the score following regulation was 17-17, requiring an unexpected overtime battle between the competing teammates.
The first overtime just wasn't enough, requiring a second overtime to begin. Running back DJ Twitty completed a 2-point conversion, giving the black team the win with a score of 19-17.
With the spring season wrapped up, head coach Shane Beamer and his assistant coaches geared up for the upcoming summer practices beginning in June. Here's what Beamer had to say about the future chemistry of the team looking towards the summer.
And then from a football standpoint, just the youthfulness and the eagerness that this group has. Like they're excited and they love to compete and they love to work, and that excites me about this group. The young players that we have in the program right now, the returning guys like Juice and Spencer and on and on and on, and then the incoming freshmen, some of them that aren't here right now that'll be here in June when we come back. There's a lot of excitement about Carolina football right now, and there's a lot of reasons why, for sure.
The confidence Gamecock football has in its team will likely bleed into the further preparation of the fall team, with new faces and possibly new positions to look out for.
Gamecock softball broke new records on Sunday in an enormous final game-winning sweep against SEC matchup Texas A&M. The Gamecocks scored 8 runs in just 6 innings of play, causing an 8-run mercy rule as the Aggies could not manage to get a single run home.
In a series of new feats, the win became the first time in program history the Gamecocks swept a ranked SEC opponent while being unranked. The win also became the first time they have won an SEC matchup while being unranked since 2014, and the first time they have swept a ranked SEC opponent since 2018.
On a high of success, the Gamecocks look for more success with a doubleheader today against Charleston Southern in their last non-SEC matchup of the season. They shut out Charleston Southern in a game 1 with a final score of 5-0 Gamecocks. They will travel to Georgia on Friday for a 3-game series, looking to pave the way for further feats. It's really amazing to see how this softball team has been doing, and seeing pitcher Donnie Goborn being able to go pro is such an amazing thing to see from this team.
She has been a really great addition to the team this year.
Yeah, she really has.
Coming up, SGTV News 4 Sports reporter Spencer Ball has the latest on the NBA and NHL playoffs. Stay tuned.
Both the NBA and the NHL playoffs have gotten underway this past week. On the court, the biggest storyline through 2 games has been the Sacramento Kings taking a 2-0 series lead against the defending champs, the Golden State Warriors. The Golden One Center in Sacramento has been packed with fans as they hope to see the Kings win their first playoff series since 2004. The Kings have been led by star guard De'Aaron Fox, who has successfully gone toe-to-toe with Steph Curry. Game 3 of the series is tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Moving on to the ice, the Carolina Hurricanes defeated the New York Islanders in Game 1 of their series, with Game 2 just getting underway moments ago in Carolina. After winning the Metro Division in the regular season, the Canes look to make a deep run in the playoffs, but a potential matchup with the Boston Bruins would be a tough task. The Bruins finished their regular season historically, breaking the record for most regular season wins in a season. Whether you prefer postseason basketball or hockey, or maybe even regular season baseball, it's definitely a great time to be a sports fan. Up next, SGTV News 4 sports reporter Dakota Morris has an update on Gamecock golf.
The Gamecocks men's golf team teed off this morning at the 2023 SEC Championship in St. Simon Islands, Georgia. The Gamecocks are currently competing in the 54-hole stroke play that will end on Friday with an individual SEC champion. After the final round of stroke play on Friday, there will be a 54-hole cut to the top 8 who will compete in a match play quarterfinals on Saturday. The semifinal rounds will be broadcasted on the SEC Network on Sunday. The Gamecocks are looking to make match play for the 4th time since the new format has been introduced. Head coach Bill McDonald is confident in the Gamecocks, saying, quote, "Our guys had a really productive past week with qualifying and practice, and they seem motivated and determined to do their best golf," end quote. The Gamecocks will continue to round 2 of stroke play tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. With the way they've been performing so far this season, I think we have really good hopes for this tournament.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really fun to watch, and I think the Gamecocks will be competitive.
Moving on to women's golf, the Gamecock women's golf team advanced to the top 8 match play at the 2023 SEC Championship last Friday. This marks the 5th consecutive appearance for the Gamecocks in the top 8. They were then met with number 2 seed Auburn Saturday morning. After trailing 3 matches at the turn, Gamecock golfer Matilde Class was able to come back and secure the win for South Carolina. The Gamecocks then faced the Texas A&M Aggies in the semifinals that evening. Both teams fought hard and were left with 2 deciding matches that trailed into a combined 9 playoff holes. Ultimately, the Aggies came out on top and advanced to the finals against Mississippi State. The Aggies were able to keep the momentum going and took the match play championship title on Sunday. The Gamecocks will be back on the course May 8th for the NCAA Regionals. And coming up after the break, we have the Palmetto State calendar. Stay tuned.
Before we go, let's take a look at the Palmetto State calendar.
Starting off with baseball, South Carolina hosts Florida for a 3-game series beginning tomorrow. The 2 teams will play tomorrow at 7:30 p.m., Friday at 7 p.m., and Saturday at 2 p.m.
And the Clemson Tigers head to NC State this weekend with games on Friday at 6 p.m., Saturday at 4 p.m., and Sunday at 1 p.m. They'll head back home to host Kennesaw State on Tuesday at 6 p.m.
The Coastal Carolina Chanticleers face Southern Miss for their weekend series, with games on Friday at 6 p.m., Saturday at 2 p.m., and Sunday at 1 p.m. After that, the team travels to Wake Forest on Tuesday for a 6 p.m. first pitch.
And over to softball, the Gamecocks host Charleston Southern for a doubleheader today before heading back to Georgia this weekend. They play the Bulldogs on Friday at 6:30 p.m. and on Saturday and Sunday at noon.
The Tigers host Pittsburgh for their weekend series. Those games are scheduled for Friday at 6 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday at noon.
And finally, the Chanticleers head to Southern Miss, playing on Friday at 5 p.m., Saturday at 2 p.m., and Sunday at noon. They wrap the week when they head home to host the College of Charleston on Tuesday at 4 p.m.
That's all we have for this week of Palmetto State Sports.
Be sure to follow us on Twitter at SGTV Sports, and to keep up with all of our content, be sure to also visit us online at sgtvonline.com. For SGTV News 4 Sports, I'm Erica Hudock.
And I'm Amanda Baranowski. From all of us here at SGTV, have a great night, Carolina. Forever to thee.